Hi guys, welcome to today's video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Enorita James and I try to take you by the hand and show you how to translate from manual pattern drafting to digital pattern drafting. This is part 2 of my video series on introducing you to Simly 2D CAD pattern drafting software. If you do not know what Simly 2D is, I would advise you to go watch video 1. This is about video 4 of my series on Simly 2D, but it is part 2 or video 2 on introducing you to Simly 2D pattern drafting tools. In my last video, I showed you how to use all these tools. So if you want to know how to use these tools, please go ahead and watch that video and I'm going to link it below this video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to use the remaining tools. I'm not going to be showing you all the tools because some of them are a little bit too complicated for this video. I'll just show you a few more in this video. So if that is what interests you, don't go away. Stay tuned and let us continue from where we stopped in video 1. So I've gone ahead to draw some few extra lines. If you watch the other video, you'll notice that the only lines we had were these lines. So I've gone ahead to do some few extra lines using these tools just to be able to do some further illustrations. So let's go to lines. This is quite simple. It has only 2 functions. This one is when you want to join one point to another point. For instance, if I click on it, I can just join this point, maybe A5. I can join it to A10. And that's it. Just to join 2 points together. There's nothing much in this particular one. So return it. Then this one is if you have 2 lines. Okay, let me go back there because I need to illustrate something. Let me see, I need to illustrate something. Okay, let me join from this. Let me join from this point to this point. Good. Now, for this next one, if you have a line and it crosses another line, I need to create a point there. The reason you create points on CAD, I'll keep emphasizing, is that you need points to join one thing to the other. Without points, you cannot join things together. So you need to create points. So let's say you have this crossing here. I need to create a point on this intersection. So to get a point here, you need to just highlight this and the point comes on. So first you click on this and then we'll draw, highlight where we want, and then we want from here also to here. Let me start. Sometimes it behaves strange from here to here. So it gives you that point. So sometimes you have to do it a few times before you get what you want. So it actually gives you a point of intersection between the two. So now let's go to curves. There are several curves here. I'm going to talk about a few. The first one is a simple curve. Like I normally use this if I'm doing a armhole curve. Let's say I just want to do a curve from here to here to here. All I have to do is to click on it and then click the points I want the curve to start and where to end, and it gives you something like this that will help you to curve it the way you want. And once you draw it, it gives you these 2 places that you can actually use, you know, click on the curve. It gives you these 2 handles you can see here. You can actually curve it the way you want. to create the curve of your arm. I normally use this when I'm doing my armhole curve or a neck curve. So that's it for that particular curve. Now there's another curve, this one. Now this one you use it if you have several curves you want to put together. Like look at this, if I want to put this together like one, two, or I want it to go from here to here, maybe come down to here. So once you click that, you have to click where it is starting, then it will come here, it will come here, it will come here, and it will end up here. So once it ends up here, you click on enter so that you can stop. If you don't click on enter, you keep going round with it. So the good thing is that you can actually play with it if you want, as much as you want to play with it. That's the good thing. So this can be used if you want to kind of create patterns that has a lot of curves or something. You can use it, to do exactly what you want, to curve it the way you want. If you create patterns that has a lot of scallops or a lot of, this is the one you can use for it. It's always so busy. Me, I don't like using it, except I want to do anything that has to do with scallops or something like that. So that's what that one is all about. This one is almost the same thing with this, so I won't even bother with that. And this is if you want to get a center line on a curve. So let's go to this our curve. Sorry. Let's go to this our arm curve. Let me remove this one. It's too busy for me. So let's go to this arm curve. When you click on the curve, let's say you want to do a midpoint between here to here. Maybe you want to see where you want to create your French curve or something like that. So if you want to actually create a point on this, as I said earlier, where maybe you want to create a French curve here, all you have to do now is to click on this and then click on that. And then it will ask you how much do you want from the beginning. So maybe you want something like 4 centimeters from the beginning and you click on OK. So it gives you that point right here. So you now know you can use this point now, maybe draw your French curve or whatever you want to do with that. So that is just to create a point on the curve. So let's go back and let's look at the last thing, one that has to do with curve. Now, if you want to create a curve with a particular angle, let's say you want a particular angle on a curve, that is when you use this one. So if you click on it and then you click first on the curve and then you want, how do you want this angle to be? Which point now do you want to angle to this curve? So you can, let's say we want this A12. So it gives you this line where you can turn to whatever angle you want on the curve. So you can want it right there, you can make it right here, you can make it right here, however angle you want. So let's say you want it here, just click on it and it gives you that angle. If you want to change the angle a little bit, it's not exactly what you want. If you right click here, go to properties, it actually shows you the angle. If maybe you wanted 70, you can actually change it to 70. So that's how that particular one works. So that's how it works. Because sometimes you might want to use a particular angle to maybe to draw something from your armhole or to draw something from your neck. So it depends on whatever you want to use. So we're now done with the curves. So we'll now go on to the arc. So now let's talk about the arc. Most times you use this to create things like collar, most collars that has a curve, or things like skirts that are flay. So if you want to create an arc, you first click on it. Then the first thing you need to do is from which point are you going to create this curve? So if let's say we want to start from A2, Now it's going to ask you for the radius. If you're used to pattern drafting, you know that if you're doing a circle skirt, or you want to create a sleeve that has a circle edge, you know you need a radius from where this flare will come out from. So say I need a radius of 8. Now the first angle is, where is this going to start from? First angle is 0. Remember, 0 is on your right. So first angle is 0. And then the second angle, is it going to go towards upwards? Is it going to go downwards? Is it going to go all round? Is it an all round thing? Especially if you're doing a circular skirt. If you're doing a circular skirt, your second angle will be 360. But if it's just something that is just half of it, it will be 180. Or if you want one quarter of it, it will be 90. So let's first start with second angle of 90, so you understand what I mean. And then you click on OK. So that's your arc. This is your radius. Radius most times is how long is it. Like if you want a flare skirt, this radius will be the length of your waist to your knee, if that is where you want the skirt to stop. So that is where this radius is to get this flare. If it is a flare sleeve, this of course will be the length of your sleeve. That is what the radius will be. So let's say we want a circle skirt. It's just the same thing. You click on where you want it to start. You go first here. Click on where you want that to start. Your radius, the first start can be 0. Your second angle will be 360. No, sorry. Your radius, I use the same radius. Your radius, let's say I use a radius of the same 8. First angle is 0. Second angle is 360. Okay. So that's your circle skirt. That's your circle skirt. That's how to create a circle skirt. It's just as easy as that. So I reduce the arc to 180. It's very easy to do if you want to reduce the arc to 180. You just click on it, right click, go to properties, and then you can reduce it here to whatever degrees you want the arc to be. It was 360 before, I just reduced it to 180. I just wanted to quickly show you how to do that. Now let's go to this particular one. We finished with showing you how to create an arc. Then what does this one mean? If you want to create a particular length or a point on the arc for a particular length, that's when you use this particular one. So once you click on it, now what length do you want? And from where do you want it? Do you want it to start from here, or do you want it to start from here? That's what it means. So let's say I want to start from the start point from here, and I want a distance of about 5 centimeters, and I'll click OK. So you see that it has moved a distance of 5 centimeters on this curve. Now, if you click on that, maybe you right click on it and look at properties, you can see that you can increase the length if you want. You increase the length from 5 to whatever length that you want. So that's it for this particular function. Now, this function has to do with intersection and creating an intersection on your curve. To do that, first you choose the curve that you want to point towards, and then choose from where you want that intersection line to come from. So when you get the line, you can shift it anywhere you want. So it depends on whatever pattern you're making that you can use this. You can create intersections on your arcs or whatever, in whatever position that you want and at whatever angle that you want. Like once you click on it, I just is showing me this. Once you click on it, it shows you where it is intersecting. Like here now, you can change this angle of intersection if you want. Just by clicking to find the properties, you can always change the angle. This is the angle. You can change it to whatever angle you want. So that's all about that particular function. Now, this function this is self-explanatory. If you have two curves, you just use this to find the point of intersection. It's just like when you have two straight lines that are intersecting, you just highlight the lines and then it tells you the point of intersection. So that's what that is all about. We can quickly do that. Let me see if I can create another point here. Let me go to point. Let me create a center. Let me create a point at the center of this. Maybe this to this. I'll create a point. Sometimes this simply too. I don't know what's up with it at times, but it's one of those things with all these digital things. So we've created a point. So let me see whether I can create an arc that can intersect with this other one. Create this here. And then maybe a radius of 8 to first angle 0, second angle 180. And then I press OK. So you see that it is intersecting here. So now if we go back to this particular function, you highlight the two curves, then it gives you that point there. So that's what that is all about. So we are still talking about the arc. I've told you what to do with this, and this. This for me is virtually the same thing with this, only that you're going to use two circular as complete circles to find that. For me, it's virtually the same principle of intersection of arcs. Now, this one is the same with this one, so I won't bother with that. Now, this one is if you want to create a circle with a particular known length. Now, if you see most of those things, patterns that you do with skirts, and you want to create some skirt frills, now you can use that. So you now know the exact length of how you want that curve to be. So if you click on that, first of all, you click on where you want. There must always be a point, as I said, for you to click on to be able to generate your curve. So you now, let's say I want a radius of 8, and my first angle is, of course, 0. Now, instead of writing a second angle here, you actually write the length that you want. So let's say I want a length of 12 centimeters. So if I click OK, so it gives me that curve. As I said, you can use it for all those frills you can use on your skirts, or you can also use it to create your collar. The collars is not so straight. You can use it to create something like that. So that is it for this particular tool. So we are now done with the arc tools. Let's go to operations. Let me remove this so that we make it very clear. Under operations, I rarely use all these things. The only one I use here is this truing of your darts. How to true your darts. I've already gone ahead to create points. If you're creating your darts manually, once you've created the darts like this, if you fold it, you know that it's not normally straight. So that is what we mean by truing of darts. You have to make allowance for the folding. And that is where this particular tool comes in. So how do you use it? So first of all, let me join this two here. Let me join this thing. Let me go to line. Let me join these 2 points to this point. Okay. So let's say we want to create a way start. So what you do, you go to operations, you go to that, highlight that, and then first you need to highlight the line, the baseline where the dot is going to be on. So that will be from this A up to this 15, that's A15, that is where I want the dot baseline. Then you come back and now start where the dot, how the dot is going to be. You normally go clockwise when it comes to this. You must go clockwise. You hit on the first point and then you come down to the second point of the dot and see. Have you seen it? It creates that extra length for you so that when you're cutting your dart, you don't cut straight. You just go like this, like that, and then like this when you're cutting your dart. So that's how beautiful it is. So you can just do your dart and then do your pattern. So the next one is this piece here. That is how to extract your pattern. Once you've done your pattern like this, you don't leave it like this. You cannot print it like this. You have to extract it first so that you can add your seam allowances before you're able to print it. And that is what this is all about. Now, when you're done, I forgot something. When you're done with this, once you click out, it goes off. But those points are there to show you so that we can now draw line, join all the points and have it in place. So what I'll do, I'll join this to this, join this to this, join this to this, and this to this to actually show you how the pattern will be extracted. So what I have done is, as I said, once you've created that dart, you need to join the points, which I've just done now, because without joining the points, you will not be able to extract your pattern the way you want it to be. And that's the final thing I'm going to show you. Once you've created your pattern like this, you cannot print it out like that. You need to extract it first. And to do that using your Simly tool, you go to operations, and you go, no, not operations, you go to piece, sorry. Then this place you have this plus here. This is where you're going to click to start extracting your patterns. And when you're extracting your patterns, you're going to go clockwise. Always clockwise. That is from here to here. Always. Don't go like this, it won't work. Clockwise. So I'm going to start from the neck, click on it. I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to click on A2, and I'm going to click on A5, and I'm going to click on the curve, and I'm going to click on A9. I'll come down to A15, then the dart A17, the first leg of the dart, the second leg of the dart, and then of course the last end of it. And then once you've done that, you just hit enter on your computer, hit enter. Once you see this OK is highlighted, that means you did everything well. If we didn't do everything well, this will not be highlighted. So if I click on OK, we can now find our pattern piece right here, where you see piece here. If you click on it, that is our pattern piece. And if you see, the seam allowance is added because this is highlighted. If you do not want a seam allowance, just come here. This is the symbol for the seam allowance. Click on it and the seam allowance goes off. Even the grain line is there automatically. But I always like my seam allowance to be there so that when you're printing out, you print out everything. But you can, as I said, if you want to save your paper, you can print it out without seam allowance. But this is nice because the whole thing is uniform. It will make life easy for you when you're cutting. So that is our pattern. With this, I've come to the end of this video, and I hope you actually enjoyed it. I've shown you how to use all this, and I want to stop here. I don't want to make it further. The video is already too long. So now that you've seen what you can use each of those tools in Similitude to do, I did not exactly tell you about all the tools. I just told you the ones that are actually basic and the ones you'll be using frequently. As you learn the tool, you begin to know how to use the other tools. Now that you've learned how to use the tools, in my next video, we're actually going to create a basic body torso. A basic body torso block. A torso block is a block that is from your shoulder to your hips. And that video, I'll divide it into 3 parts. So if that is what interests you, then get ready to watch my next video, where we're actually going to use Similitude pattern drafting tools to create a basic body torso block. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe so that you get informed when I upload videos on CAD pattern drafting software. Stay blessed.